take a second and stop exactly what you are doing. Look at your life right now and think, where exactly will you be 3 years from today? Will it be the empire you actually desire to rule? Or will it be the exact same pathetic life you are living right now? Endlessly disappointed, constantly frustrated, and entirely controlled like a disposable puppet in someone else's hands. Listen to me very carefully. Whatever is going entirely wrong in your life right now, the relationship that is crumbling, the career that is completely stagnant, the people who look right through you and refuse to value your existence. The root cause is not a lack of talent. It is definitely not bad luck. It is only one specific thing: your attitude. But if you give me the next few minutes of your finite life, I will hand you 6 psychological rules that will construct a version of you that is mathematically impossible to break. A version of you that society simply cannot ignore. A version that violently forces respect. This is not some cheap motivational theory. I have stood exactly in the mud where you are standing today. Rule number 6 is the absolute most lethal weapon on this list. Do not make the fatal mistake of missing it. Let us begin. Rule number 1. Think like a mastermind. Change your internal architecture, and you completely change your external reality. Look, the biggest, most hilarious lie in this world is that a powerful aura comes naturally. It absolutely does not come naturally. A terrifying attitude is built consciously, deliberately, every single day in the dark. And the foundation of absolute power starts with one extremely simple decision. How do you actually perceive yourself when no one else is in the room? The person who stands in front of the mirror and thinks, "I am useless. What will the crowd think of me? I cannot survive this." That pathetic mindset does not make you a king. It makes you a permanent victim. Every great monster's story starts as a victim. But the ones who actually conquer the board reach a specific breaking point where they look at the world and decide, not anymore. Do not run away from your psychological weaknesses. Hunt them down and ruthlessly fix them. Stop comparing yourself to the sheep around you, because absolutely no one can process the board exactly like you. A mastermind never doubts his own intellect. He makes mistakes, but he makes them with terrifying confidence. Set one ironclad rule in your mind today. I am what I am. But a much darker, much sharper version of me is currently being constructed. And this violent evolution will never ever stop. Rule number 2. Stop taking their pathetic little world so seriously. Not everything is meant to destroy you. Look, massive problems are going to infiltrate your life. They will always come. But what actually makes you incredibly weak is not the problem itself. It is how massive you allow the problem to become inside your own head. Remember a very simple sociopathic rule. Fix exactly what is in your control. Completely ignore what is not. And move forward without looking back. Overthinking, staying completely awake all night, agonizing over a variable you cannot change tomorrow. It only drains your premium mental energy. It makes you look incredibly weak. Entities with a massive, terrifying vision do not get trapped in trivial webs. Someone threw a cheap insult at you. They called you a loser. They intentionally ignored you in a crowded room. Listen to me. People who desperately try to drag you down are already fundamentally below you. You do not need to take their desperate little words seriously to rise above them. Aggressively redirect your energy into the precise actions that expand your territory. Stop reacting to the meaningless noise. That is the very first indicator of a truly dangerous person. They coldly dictate what deserves their attention and what deserves the void. Rule number 3. Do not react. Just clinically notice. See the board. Understand the mechanics. Then execute the move. Emotional reaction is the absolute loudest siren of a weak, fragile mind. A parasite says something highly offensive to you, and you instantly react. Anger, defensive posture, a loud, messy argument. And what is the ultimate result? You look completely out of control, and they look like the puppet master. Untouchable people do not react. They silently observe. When you finally learn to observe the humans around you like lab rats, studying their frantic actions, their empty words, their predictable little patterns, you elevate to a position very few humans ever reach. You float completely above the maze instead of running blindly inside it. Are people treating you with disrespect? Take a mental note. Understand exactly why their insecurity demands it, and deliver your response when the timing is mathematically perfect. On your terms, never theirs. When you completely stop reacting to their pathetic little provocations, society automatically realizes that you cannot be rattled. And a man who cannot be rattled is a man who must be deeply feared. Build your observational silence. It keeps you far away from the trash and intimately close to the throne. Rule number 4. The absolute power of the walk away. Stop donating your finite time to parasites who do not value your blood. This might be the most lethal psychological lesson of your entire life. Look, whether it is a romantic relationship, a decade-long friendship, or a corporate hierarchy, wherever your objective value is not being heavily recognized, staying there is an act of violent self-disrespect. Your presence is an elite privilege, and when you freely hand that privilege to people who treat it like garbage, you mathematically reduce your own net worth to absolutely zero. Stop chasing their cheap attention. Stop desperately trying to prove your worth. Stop trying to force anyone to look at you. Construct your iron boundaries in complete silence, and when someone dares to cross them, without any theatrical drama, without a single argument, you simply turn around and walk away into the dark. This is not running away. This is the absolute strongest, most terrifying signal of absolute self-respect. When manipulators realize that you will never, ever compromise your boundaries to keep them around, they instantly start treating you like a loaded weapon. No situation, no human being, and no relationship is more valuable than your core operating system. And when you finally develop the mindset that says, if this does not serve my empire, I will erase it, your attitude becomes completely unstoppable because you are no longer staying out of desperate need. You are staying strictly by choice. Rule number 5. Bleed in the absolute dark. Learn to carry your own psychological weight. I'm going to tell you something incredibly raw. The exact metric that separates a thoroughly ordinary pawn from a shadowed mastermind is this: they never ever break down publicly under the crushing weight of their problems. This does not mean you do not experience pain. You do. But constantly broadcasting your misery to everyone who will listen, endlessly complaining, desperately hunting for cheap sympathy. This does not make you look resilient. It makes you look like a bleeding target. And predators do not support bleeding targets. They consume them. Solve your own complex problems. Face your absolute darkest nightmares completely alone. Even when the mathematical solution is invisible, you still execute one forward motion. Do one calculated thing. This daily habit of aggressive silent action. It builds a terrifying, cold confidence that absolutely no motivational speech could ever provide. Stop depending on the fragile humans around you. Invest entirely in your dark architecture. Invest in your elite skills. Invest in the lethality of your mind. And slowly, you will realize that the absolute power you were begging the world to give you was lying dormant inside your own skull the entire time. It just needed a reason to wake up. Rule number 6. The master key. Think with cold precision before you ever open your mouth. Silence is your most terrifying weapon. I am calling this the most critical point because it can either instantly build your entire aura or completely burn it to the ground, blurring out whatever random emotional garbage pops into your head. That is exactly what an average, highly disposable person does. But processing the data, filtering your vocabulary, and coldly deciding exactly which words to deploy, that is what a lethal entity does. Look, when you talk entirely too much, you are freely handing your enemies a highly detailed map of your psychological weaknesses. They start predicting your every move. Your words completely lose their market value. But when you heavily restrict your words and speak only with calculated intent, the room completely stops breathing to listen to you. Your vocabulary carries immense, crushing weight. You appear deeply mysterious and terrifyingly confident. Silence is a highly advanced psychological language, and a true mastermind speaks it flawlessly. Learn to aggressively listen to their lies. Learn to dissect their hidden agendas. And when you finally choose to speak, speak with surgical precision. Speak with absolute, final purpose. Learn to completely control your physical vessel in any chaotic situation, with any unpredictable human. Keep absolute control of your vocabulary, locked inside your own vault. Apply this single mechanism, starting right now. Drastically reduce your output, massively increase your data collection, and watch how the world's perception of you violently shifts 180 degrees without you even lifting a single finger. Reading this dossier or listening to my voice is entirely insufficient. Idle knowledge does absolutely nothing to change your reality. Aggressive action changes reality. Starting right now. Choose just one of these dark rules, executed tomorrow morning. After 1 week, you will physically feel the chemical shift inside your own brain. A terrifying attitude is not constructed in 24 hours, but the construction absolutely begins in 24 hours. And that timeline starts right now. If this psychological transmission successfully rewired your brain, write the words, "I cut the strings," in the comments below. I want to see exactly how many minds actually survived until the end, because the entities who have the discipline to finish are the only ones dangerous enough to rule. Stop being a puppet.